It's mailbag time. Is it Nico Collins time? Welcome to Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Okay, for those of you with a Jamar Chase hangover, get over it. It's the weekend. It's time to move forward and think about your lineup on Sunday. We're going to answer your questions. Fantasyfootball@cbsi.com is our email address. Fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Fantasy Cops. You know the drill. Jamie's here. What's up, Jamie?
What's up, buddy?
You're drinking a soda. I won't say the brand or anything. I don't think I've had a soda. This is a lie. I think it's been about 5 years, I think, since I've had a soda.
5 years.
I think so.
That's impressive.
Maybe once or twice in the last 5 years. They're very sweet. Like,
A lot of sugar.
I can't believe I used to drink that stuff all the time. Delicious. Very sweet. All right, Nico Collins. That'd be sweet if he could play. Are you expecting him to play?
I mean, the fact that they activated him so late in the week is a little concerning, but I think the
Texans.
I know the Texans.
Oh, wait. Let's see. Where's he go? Hold on. What's he think? The possibility of
him playing this week. The fact that they waited so late in the week is a little concerning. The fact that he's activated and got a chance to practice on Friday is encouraging. So it's just one of those things you're gonna have to monitor. Hopefully we get an answer. Clearly, if he plays, you're starting.
They say, Nico Collins is going to play, but he's going to be on a snap count.
Then I'm starting him with less confidence, but I'm still starting.
Okay. Michael Pittman is out. Any impact?
How many snaps did he play against Buffalo when he had 2 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown?
Probably 30 to 40%. I could take a look for you.
No, it was the first half. He left.
Right. That's why I'm saying less than 50%. So, all right. What about the Michael Pittman being out? Does that change anything for anyone? Oh, 13% of the snaps. He had 2 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah,
wow.
He's good. Michael Pittman being out, it just makes it more obvious that Josh Downs is going to get a lot of targets and a lot of attention, but I'm still starting.
But you're not going to go with Alec Pierce or anything like that?
No, I don't think you want to trust him yet.
Keon Coleman is out. Amari Cooper is questionable. Amari Cooper, if he plays, or Tank Dell? If Nico plays. Even Nico plays?
Tank Dell.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence unlikely to play. We know that. Will Levis is going to start for Tennessee. Amari Cooper or Calvin Ridley?
Ridley.
Jalen Hurts dealing with an ankle injury. Do you think this is a big deal? Change anything for you?
Did you see how this all unfolded?
Yes. It was very funny, actually. But yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, so what happened was Sirianni was asked about it because he was listed as a DNP for rest. And he said, yeah, he's just dealing with an ankle injury. And they were like, what? But it says rest on the injury report. And then so it busted. And so he's like, oh, I thought you were talking about something else. Great line there. Anyway, Devontae Smith is also going to play. So we'll get to our emails in a second. Tell us about what you do on HQ on Sunday mornings, Jamie.
So Sunday morning is a combination of fantasy, reality, gambling. Good way to get a lot of NFL information prior to kickoff. We go from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. with a great cast of characters hosted by Tommy Tran, myself, Pete Prisco, Logan Ryan. We have Brian McFadden on the show this week as well. Todd Furman, one of the best in the business in handicapping games. We go around the league with our sideline reporters. They all provide hits for us with interviews with players and coaches sometimes. So it's a fun, quick-paced show that gives you all the stuff that you need.
Okay, and you can watch that 10 a.m. Eastern. And before that, 9 a.m. Eastern, you can go to youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday, and we're doing a Q&A. Ask your start-sit questions. Check out the Giants-Panthers game, and then we'll do the same thing from noon to 1, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. Time for your emails at fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. By the way, where's Dan? Where do you think Dan is? It's a nice day here in New York. He's like, I'm going golfing. Remember, Dan does not work on Fridays, so he usually does these shows on his off day. We appreciate that. I have a great email about Dan that I'd love to read today, but I'm going to save it for Beyond the Box Score on Monday. All right, email from Mark. Would you trade away Breece Hall for DeAndre Swift and Tyrone Tracy? I could use the depth, as this week I have to flex Javonte or Waddle.
Breece Hall for, give me again.
Breece Hall for Swift and Tracy.
I think I would. I mean, Swift has been better than him over the last month, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Swift is past his bye week already. Tracy still has his bye week coming up in week 11. Hall still has his bye week coming up in week 14, I believe. Yeah, I'd make that trade.
From Kevin in a city in Southwest Louisiana. I have no idea. New Orleans. Half PPR. Bench Southwest Louisiana.
Baton Rouge?
I don't know. I'm going to tell you straight up. I do not know the geography of Louisiana. Have you been to Louisiana?
I've been to New Orleans, yes. Have you?
I've been to New Orleans twice, and I've been to Baton Rouge once. But I don't know where I was. I just know I was in Louisiana. Okay, Kevin's question is bench one and half PPR. Tyrone Tracy, Breece Hall, or J.K. Dobbins?
I think it's Breece Hall. I mean,
Really?
Dobbins going to get a lot of work. You know that. No concern about somebody else taking away significant touches or goal line touches. And Tracy's in such a great spot. So,
yeah, I'm going to bench Tracy. He's Breece Hall, right? We got to. I got to tell you something about Breece Hall. He is not running well this year. Or I don't know if it's his fault or whatever, but he's not running effectively this year. He's got a lot of carries for 0 or negative yards. One of the leaders in terms of that rate. He's not breaking off the big runs like we're used to seeing. I think he's averaging 4 yards per carry. So it's a little alarming. And the targets have been way down the last 2 games out of 3 with Devontae Adams. But I'm going to start him over Tyrone Tracy. Jamie's going to sit Breece Hall. From Frank. Yeah.
you know what's interesting is that this was supposed to be the explosive year for Hall. 2 years removed from ACL, right? Or year.
Exactly. It's been a pretty disappointing season. All right. Frank says Breece Hall or David Montgomery. And I'll get to the second question, but go ahead. Breece Hall or Montgomery?
I would go Hall there.
And would you sit?
That would be Monty Hall, by the way.
Monty Hall, Lad McConkey, or Darnell Mooney, Devontae Smith, if you had to sit one?
Lad McConkey.
Okay. Okay. I thought I knew who Monty Hall was, but do I know Monty Hall? Like, who's Monty Hall?
I'm not going to tell you.
Because I'm game show host. Oh, let's make a deal. I know the name, but Jamie's old. It's basically what we just learned. Nick in Titletown. I have been offered Deebo Samuel, Najee Harris, and Josh Downs for Justin Jefferson.
Wow.
Give up Jefferson, get Deebo, Najee, and Josh Downs. It's a 10-team PPR league where we only start 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a flex.
Makes it easier to make that deal then, yes.
No. You want the Jefferson side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving up Jefferson.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Keep Jefferson. So, yeah, 10-team league. You got Malik Neighbors. You got Marvin Harrison, Tank Dell. No, keep Jefferson. Start him every week. This is from Joe. Hey, Ray, Kevin, Paul, and Kendrick. Oh, gross.
Ray, Kevin, Paul, and Kendrick would be Celtics.
Yeah, gross. Half PPR, start 1 receiver and 1 flex. The receivers are McConkey, Marvin Harrison, and Ridley.
Still going to go Marvin.
The flex is McConkey, Ridley, Dowdle, or Brian Robinson.
I don't think Robinson's going to play. So let's go Ridley.
So Robinson did not practice Friday, right?
Right.
That sucks. What about Tony Pollard? Did we see anything on there?
About practice?
Practiced. Tony Pollard practiced. Not that that's relevant to this. Just curious. Tony Pollard did practice on Friday. So.
Okay.
All right. If you haven't signed up yet for BetMGM, what are you waiting for? Use the bonus code FANTASY when you sign up, and you'll get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app. Sign up using the bonus code FANTASY. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use the bonus code FANTASY when you sign up. I'm going to take a little break here. Come back and grade some more trades, read some more emails, get to the Fantasy Cops. We'll be right back on Fantasy Football Today. Welcome back, everybody. Jamie, it's hard to manufacture the goofiness and the fun when Dan's not here.
It really is.
Right? Like it's sad. So I hope that jerk's having fun golfing, just ruining our show.
Yep.
What are you doing this weekend?
Oh, let's see. Tomorrow, my 6-year-old has his first soccer game of the season. and his last basketball game of the season.
Wow.
And it will definitely be his last basketball game of the season unless they have the biggest upset of all upsets, because they have been terrible in playoffs. But the cool thing about the league is they get the local Carvel gives them ice cream for free. So they get ice cream after the game. And soccer, we'll see how it goes. We have our first practice tonight because we were rained out earlier this week.
You coaching?
I do not coach basketball. I am coaching the soccer team. I got roped into doing that. So I'm going to run my first soccer practice since they were 3. And then I'll be working all day Sunday.
Oh, what do you do?
I do this little show.
I'm in insurance.
Actually, I'll be doing 3 shows, 2 of them with you.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you?
Tonight, Friday night, my wife is going to a birthday party in the city, so I have to get the kids to sleep, which will never happen. So that sucks. So tonight's not going to be super fun. If I do manage to, if my son will go to sleep, my daughter will cry a lot, and then eventually she'll fall asleep. But when that happens, I'll fold laundry. We have a lot of that to do, and watch TV. Now, can I watch? I got to whisper this because she's home. Can I watch the show that we're trying to watch together, but making no progress on? I really want to watch. The hell's it called? Shrinking with Jason Segel. So good. And we're only like 5 episodes in. I got to catch up. But we can't. We never find time to watch together. And she's going to the city. That's on her. That's not on me. I think I'm going to start watching it without watching behind her back.
The fact that you're whispering is me.
I'll tell her. I don't keep any secrets.
I'm going to text Allie right now.
Because you know what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to watch the episodes again just to lie and be like, oh, sure, I haven't seen this one yet. Right? Like I'm going to. So anyway, I think I'm going to do that. And Saturday, I'm going to watch the Hurricanes and find a time for a nap.
What crappy team are they going to make look good?
So listen, this is a tough game. They're at Georgia Tech. They're only like 11-point favorites, which for Miami, that means they're just subtract 10 because like every game's close for them. So it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy for them. It's never easy for them. Even when they win big, it's always a struggle.
I had and none of these were going to be directed at you, but I had about like 10 texts ready to go to different Hurricanes fans down here when Duke was winning.
Congratulations on Billy Napier coming back.
Yeah, and our basketball coach is in trouble. It's a fun time to be a Gator fan.
All right, back to the questions. From Aaron. Dear George, Sam, TJ, and Noah.
George, Sam, TJ, and Noah. George, Sam, TJ.
Oh. No, I have no idea. George, Sam, TJ, and Noah. Who are you guys? Oh. He even put it in the email. Sorry, they're Iowa tight ends.
Oh, right. Noah Fant, George Kittle, Sam Laporta, and Hawkinson.
Yeah. 6-3 team. Would you trade Tyreek Hill for Puka Nacua straight up in a half PPR league?
So you're giving up Tyreek Hill to get Puka?
Yeah.
And you're 6-3?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather hold on to Tyreek.
Yeah. That knee injury still just kind of bothers me a little bit. Watch The Penguin, says Lee D.
It's on my list.
LD Astro. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good show. People say I look like Colin Farrell in that show.
What people?
And just in The Penguin, not when he's not the Penguin. All right, from Garrett, start 2 of these 3. DeAndre Hopkins, Tank Dell, and Kareem Hunt.
The last 2.
From Andrew, pick 2 in PPR. McBride, Brian Thomas Jr., Evan Ingram, Jalen Waddle, and Brian Robinson. Pick 2. McBride, Brian Thomas Jr., Ingram, Waddle, Robinson.
If you're okay with playing both tight ends, I'd play both tight ends.
You'd start Ingram over Thomas?
I think it's a little safer with Mac Jones.
From Matt. Oh, man. Dude. I was ready to crawl out of my skin and yell at Heath. I couldn't get a word in. We were doing an HQ segment. I wanted to leave my body and transport to South Florida and be like, no, you're wrong. So we're doing an HQ segment, and they asked us to do the panic meter, about how panicked are you about these certain situations. And one of them was the Jaguars. It was the last one we were doing. And they only let Heath reply. So the producer's like, we don't have time. Just after Heath, we're just going to end the segment. So Heath starts saying, that the difference between Mac Jones and what Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be is huge. But the difference between Mac Jones and what Trevor Lawrence has actually been is not that big. So it's really not that big of a downgrade at quarterback for the Jaguars. I just want to be like, I disagree so strongly. But, Wiz got a point. It's not like Lawrence has been great. Okay. Matt says, hey, Banya, Putty, Watley, and Uncle Leo.
Seinfeld.
I only know two of them.
Which two do you know?
Putty and Uncle Leo.
Banya is a comedian.
Who's Watley?
Watley is someone Elaine dated.
Oh, it's Bryan Cranston.
Dentist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many great characters on that show. Jordan Love's on a bye. Should I start Daniel Jones, Justin Herbert, or Bo Nix?
I'd go Daniel Jones.
From Mike in Wisconsin, traded Josh Jacobs and DeAndre Hopkins for Breece Hall and Braylon Allen in a standard scoring league. Jacobs and Hopkins for Breece Hall and Braylon Allen.
It's not bad if you're buying into Breece Hall's end of season schedule. Jacobs and Hall is somewhat of a wash. I think Hall's schedule is a little bit better than Jacobs, but you still have a bye week for Hall. So if you're buying into Breece Hall being, superstar again, I like the deal.
Okay, this is from, who are you? Who are you next here? Oh, I don't have a name. That's why I can't find it. 2 questions. In a 3-legged race, which grouping would do the best? Adam and Jamie, Adam and Dan, Jamie and Dan.
Me and Dan.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Although, not that I'm much taller than Dan, but I'm a little taller than Dan, right?
Yeah, you're taller than Dan.
And is Dan taller than you?
Pretty much the same height.
So that factors in. You guys might do better together because you're the same height.
Oh, that's a good point. I really struggle. Don't tell him I said this, but he's a better athlete than I am, and I struggle with that. I really struggle with that. But, I was thinking about that team. You said that you're going to beat my IDP team because your team's so much better than mine. The IDP draft happened on the day of the tennis match, and I auto-drafted like the last 10 rounds. It's a 30-round draft or something. And I lost. I'm really bad team. Like, I lost a lot that day. I lost the IDP league.
But your record's good, though.
No, what am I, 4-5?
Either 4-5 or 5-4.
I'm 4-5.
I'm like 2-6-1, something like that.
You got to get decimal scoring, man.
For that, it has decimal scoring.
It has half a point scoring. I don't think it has decimal scoring. Oh, thank you, Tony the Shrimp. He says, I'd sacrifice athleticism to be the best male host any day. So would I, but it hasn't come to fruition. I sacrificed the athleticism. I didn't get anything. The other question, grade the trade in a PPR keeper league. I'm a fringe playoff team at best. I give Malik Neighbors and a late 5th round pick. Oh my God. Don't do this trade. Do not do it. I get Liget, Keon Coleman, and an early 3rd round pick. No, giving up Neighbors? No.
Yeah, he could be so amazing with the right quarterback.
And next year would be the last year he could keep Neighbors, but that doesn't matter.
I've been thinking about, you asked us a few weeks ago, maybe it was more than a few weeks ago, I forget how you phrased it, but who would be a 1st round pick next year?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And I think I said Neighbors was one. Who else? There's something else that popped in my mind that was.
Well, should we do a 1st round?
Sure.
Okay. With the 1st pick, I really don't want to take Barkley. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson with the 1st pick.
That would have been my pick. I'll take Chase too.
Okay. I'll take Nico Collins 3.
Good call. I'll go CeeDee Lamb 4.
I'll take Saquon Barkley 5.
Okay. 1st running back.
No, I'm going to take Bijan.
Bijan or Barkley. All right. I'll take Barkley.
I'm going to take. Do I go with. I'm going to take. What's his name? Jahmyr Gibbs.
Wow. Let's see. Probably forgetting somebody, but I'll take Neighbors.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Puka Nacua.
Wow.
What pick are we on here?
You were first, so now we're up to 8.
9? Oh yeah, 8. I mean, yeah.
All right, so you took Puka.
Derrick
Give-
Henry, Devon Achane.
Well, that's a good one. I'll take Achan.
Yeah, Achane's good. We're doing a PPR draft, by the way. I'm still gonna go with Tyreek Hill here. He
Okay.
had a strong finish to the 2024 season. I was really encouraged.
So let's pick 10. Give me. I'll take McCaffrey.
Okay, I will take. Lamar Jackson.
QB in round 1. Has the man learned nothing?
I just couldn't think of anyone. All the running backs are so old. I guess Kyron Williams maybe could be there.
I'm going to go way off the board, but following your strong 2024 finish. Chase Brown, 12.
Oh, God.
No, AJ Brown.
Oh, yeah, AJ Brown. It's a better pick than Lamar Jackson. Okay, I will go with.
That was 12.
Oh, we're doing 4 rounds. Let's do some fantasy cops instead. Send us the email, put fantasy cops in the subject line. I got 4 fantasy cops today. The first one comes from Nick in a town in Idaho not named Boise.
Idaho, not named Boise.
Yeah.
Whew. No idea.
Towns in Idaho. Boise. Idaho Falls. Idaho Falls. All right, Nick from Idaho Falls. I have a trade situation. Before I get too far into it, I'm a firm believer in you don't veto trades unless you're sure there's collusion. I'm the commissioner of my work league, 10-team PPR. Team A is tied for the worst record in the league, has had multiple players in his lineup either on bye or injured since week 5. I've discussed this several times with the manager, who's fairly new to fantasy football, but to no avail. He's been essentially an inactive manager for half the year. Team B is the Azer trader of our league. Always sending... I'm not going to say that word. Always sending jerk offers of 3 of his random bench players for your top level player. And he's 5-4. These 2 teams made a trade. Team A gives up Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, and $15 in fab.
Wow.
Team B gives up Garrett Wilson, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Waddle, and Kyler Murray. I hate to veto this trade, and if it was any other manager than this previously inactive one, I could somewhat understand the deal, even if it's heavily one-sided. I can't prove any collusion, but the league is up in arms, and I'm pretty pissed at these 2 managers. Do I let the terrible trade stand, make them rework their deal? Do I veto the trade and banish both managers? What do you think?
If you can't prove collusion, and it seems as if it's a trade based on someone maybe being a little bit naive in terms of what they're giving up, the fact that they're an inactive manager is a little frustrating.
Yeah.
I think you got to let it go, though. You know,
Really?
You would veto that?
Because he's an inactive manager, it really bothers me. I don't think this person should be having any sway on how this league. It's obviously a terrible trade. Like Barkley, Jefferson, and the fab is so much better than Kyler Murray, Garrett Wilson, Kareem Hunt. You know what? Like it is better. It is better. But it's not.
I don't think it's that terrible. Like,
all right, let it go.
I don't think it's vetoable. It's definitely slanted one side. But I think anytime you get situations like this, like you need to either seriously revisit what your trade policy is from the commissioner standpoint. Like I'm in one league where we have a 3-person committee that votes on trades.
That's not
and
bad.
It's got to be 2/3 vote
To veto it.
To pass.
To approve it?
Yeah.
So I have my softball league, right? And a few of the managers, they'd never played before, and they're not really setting lineups. Like one guy's just not setting a lineup. He starts injured players, hasn't made a roster move. I don't know why he made the donation to the league. And I'm going to see him on Monday, and I think I'm going to say something, but I wouldn't let him make a trade. I'd be mad. I'd be mad like if he made a trade. He's not going to, but I'd be mad if someone offered a trade to him and ripped him off or whatever, or even didn't. I think I'd be like, come on, like don't make trades with inactive managers.
Well, take it a step further. because I agree with you. But what do you do in the case of he hasn't set his lineup, and then
Yeah.
you remind him?
I was going to say, I don't, as commissioner, since I've probably already played him and beat him, I am not going to remind him. I might say something in person because like a bunch of us will be together. But hey, just
So that's what I'm saying. You're now reminding him.
Yeah,
you're now reminding him of the league.
But I'm not gonna like, I could be up for, I'm in contention for a playoff spot. I'm not gonna be like, hey, set your lineup. I want you to beat this other. I'm not gonna do that. But I am when I see him. Like, hey, you should start setting your lineup. All right, next up. Oh, here we go from Dave R. Ooh, I don't think this is from Dave Richard. It could be. Dear Laszlo, Nadja, Nandor, and Colin Robinson. Very funny show. A member of my league sent out multiple joke trade offers. Terrible players for studs, that kind of thing. One of the trades he sent out, however, was his Christian McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs for Breece Hall. The trade was accepted at 3 a.m. on November 5th. Okay, so he gave up McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs for Breece Hall. At around 11:30 a.m., after several other league members had been discussing the trade for hours, he jumped in our group chat claiming the offer was, quote, a joke, and that before he went to bed, he canceled all of the offers he made, after which the, quote, app glitched, and he did not cancel that offer, and only that offer. Since then, he has persistently stated that the trade should be overturned and that the integrity of our league has been compromised by not doing so, including a text message at 4:30 a.m. the day after the trade, which seems odd since it took him till 11:30 to speak up about the glitch. Every other member of the league has stated they believe the trade should be upheld. My position is, who sends a joke trade of that caliber? McCaffrey and Jacobs for Breece Hall. What would you have said had the other managers seen it and accepted it immediately? Also, what is more likely, that you sent out a bunch of offers, then canceled them and missed one, or that the app glitched on you and only on that trade offer? In my opinion, you sent the offer. It was accepted. Done deal. No such thing as joke trades. What say the fantasy cops? Does he deserve mercy, or is he an idiot moron?
He's an idiot moron. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can do that as a joke. You better rescind it right away.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look what. Oh yeah, by the way, no, that's not happening. So it's definitely on you. Can't blame the app. Can't blame you. Forgot you did it. And if the intent was joke, then the intent should have been follow through and remove the trade offer before accepted.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Joke trade. Joe, we do not support joke trades.
You wonder if, like, is he saying this because everybody was clowning him for making a bad deal?
That's what I'm thinking.
And what if it was the other way around? Like, oh my God, I can't believe you got Breece Hall. Like, it's such a great deal for you. Oh yeah. By the way, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Not a joke trade anymore. All right. This is from Shador Sanders Hopeful. Dear Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael.
Three Musketeers.
Yes, exactly. They're the Power Rangers. Your help is still desperately needed. We are in the second year of a 12-team Superflex Dynasty League. It was recently discovered by me that the commissioner's little sister is purposely tanking. She has taken it too far by benching players like Breece Hall, Jaden Daniels, and Brian Robinson for KJ Osborne, Andre Yoshivas, and starting 3 tight ends. To make matters worse, she's also been doing this for weeks now, and we're just finding out. Are you just finding out? I don't understand that. I messaged the commissioner right away. He stated the rules say, as long as they're starting players who play, there's no penalty. I could not believe this, so I dug some more. I found the anti-tanking rule that the commissioner himself sent all of us. The direct text is, quote, as described before the season, not placing reasonably viable active players in your lineup when you suffer a loss will result in a ding to your draft standings. He has all but shut me down. He made a new rule where if a player is projected for at least 1 point, they count as viable. He is a longtime listener of your show and talks about your Fantasy Cops segment all the time. Please give a ruling and save the league. Hashtag Tankgate.
So the first thing that stands out to me is changing the rule midseason. If the rule was in place and somebody found it in the bylaws, then that is what the rules have to be adhered to. That being said, it sounds like there's a little bit of a gray area here about what is a viable starting option.
Right.
And
let me read my clause again for the listeners. As described before the season, not placing reasonably viable active players in your lineup when you suffer a loss will result in a ding to your draft standings. So is benching Breece Hall for KJ Osborne or Andre Yoshevus, is that putting in a reasonably viable active player in your lineup?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
So you're cool with this?
Yeah. I mean, I think, changing the rules is one thing. Clarifying the rules, which it sounds like what this commissioner was trying to do, is a little something different. That being said, there was gray area in the initial rule. So in the case of the examples that the the victim here is claiming,
Victim.
uh,
Perp.
the benching Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson, and I forget the third, Brees Hall.
Yeah.
For those other players, yeah, it sucks, but that's the choice that they're making. They're purposely trying to lose on to get a better draft pick, and you can't fault them for that.
One person said that
It was funny just on this topic when Dak Prescott's injury. I went to look and I was like, oh, maybe in the Superflex League in the Big Burger. I'm like, let me see if Cooper Rush is available.
nope.
You've been starting.
Yeah, I start Cooper Rush every week. This is gonna ruin my tanking.
See, that's a questionable one because he's never been active, right?
Oh, he's active. He's active.
Oh,
every week.
you're allowing active players, right?
Yeah, you can start in our league. You just can't start inactive players. It was tough for me this week because I had a bunch of players on a bye, so it was hard for me to tank. I have to start like a couple of good players. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, that's Fantasy Cops. Thank you very much. When we come back, we'll read Apple Podcast questions and your YouTube comments. We'll be right back on Fantasy Football Today. Welcome back, everybody. Okay. Apple Podcast is frustrating me. You can still try to get your questions in early in the week. They just take so long to populate. So I only have one right now. It's from JT. He says, to Josh, Joe, Jim, and Doug. Joe, Josh, Jim, Doug. Joe, Josh, Jim, Doug. Who are you? Feel like quarterbacks to me, but I don't know.
Anytime I hear Doug, I always think Doug Williams.
I always think Flutie.
So it could be. It's
Joe Theismann and Doug Williams.
could be, or Jim Kelly and Doug Flutie.
Yep. Josh Allen.
That's probably Bill.
And Joe Piscopone. Joe Polito. Who's a Joe that played
JP
quarterback?
Lossman, is it Joe?
I have no idea. All right, grade the trade, PPR. I give up Tank Bigsby and Jacoby Myers. I get Jaden Reed and Alan Lazard.
Tank Bigsby and Jacoby Myers. So it's basically, I think I'd rather have the Bigsby Myers side.
Oh, all right. Take Lazard out. It's Bigsby and Myers for Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I think Myers and Myers might be better.
Okay. All right, well, that's all I got for Apple Podcast. So it's time now for your YouTube questions. Okay, Raghu Sharma, Mooney or Devontae Smith?
You allowed to answer his questions?
He hates me, yeah. I'm allowed to answer them. He's not allowed to ask them, but yeah, go ahead.
Would you flex Mooney or Devontae Smith in full PPR Mooney?
Grade the trade. Give up Cedric Tillman and Hunter Henry for J.K. Dobbins, PPR.
It's C minus. I still rather have Dobbins as the best player, but Tillman and Hunter Henry will fill two roles if you need tight end and receiver help.
So it's C plus because you're getting Dobbins.
C plus, yes.
Start three.
You know what? I give Dobbins more credit. B minus.
Okay. Start 3 in PPR. Lamb, Dell, Downs, Shakir, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I would struggle with this group too myself. I think the 3 would be the first 3, unless you want to take Dell out and go Shakir. Marvin Harrison Jr. is definitely last of this group. In a 3 receiver league, I'm not benching CeeDee Lamb at all. And I think Dell, Downs, and Shakir are all very similar. Downs and Shakir could be the number 1 receivers for their teams this week. It's easy Dell for sure if Collins is out.
How about this question? If Isaiah Likely is out for a while, Mark Andrews is blank rest of season.
Man, he looked awesome. He really did. Top 8.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big deal. I don't know what Likely's injury status is going forward. But I do know this. Chris Olave is not playing this week, and he might end up on IR. So I did see someone ask me about a Chris Olave trade. I'm just not trading for him. If he goes on IR, they're a 2-win team. Where are they in 4 weeks? Are they even going to bring him back? You just have to ask that question.
Yeah.
Half PPR, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., Terry McLaurin. Oh, finally an easy one.
Yeah, McLaurin.
Easy. We could be wrong, but I think it's easy to go with McLaurin.
Hmm.
Jonnu Smith or Dalton Kincaid.
Kincaid.
And I traded Cup and ETN for Nico Collins. Nice.
I like that.
Dell or Downs?
As of now, it's Downs. Dell if Collins out.
Really?
If Nico's out?
Yeah. I mean, Downs is, yeah. All right. Pick 2, Dowdle, Pollard, Mostert.
The first 2.
Stafford or Cousins?
I'd go Cousins. Game script being for Cousins?
Yeah, I see that. They could blow them out.
How do they blow them out, though? A lot of Bijan? Defense?
Yeah. I think they had 2 defensive touchdowns last time they faced the Saints. I don't think Derek Carr played, though.
Who would you go with?
I'd go with Cousins. But I totally get the concern.
You always get, the Stafford concern is Kyron Williams scoring multiple rushing touchdowns.
Well, he was not good last week. He got saved by overtime.
He also lost Puka early.
Puka played almost the entire first half, but it's a factor, yeah. All right, would you give Jonathan Taylor, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews for Neighbors and Ken Walker? So Taylor, Flowers, Andrews for Neighbors and Walker. No.
You wouldn't do it?
No. Well, how big of a difference do you think there is between Neighbors and Flowers?
Both at their best. Neighbors is a lot better.
Yeah, but I'm not banking on both of them being at their best.
I mean, at this point, I feel like there's a big advantage for Ken Walker than there is for Taylor based on the role in the passing game.
I think I've been a little bit too negative on Neighbors. Everything I've said has come true, but I was like, well, Andrew Thomas is out. He's going to struggle, and he has. But I think now is the time to, if anyone's as worried, to buy low on Neighbors. It can only get better. Unless
and look,
quarterbacks are in trouble.
You'd like to buy him before this week, but there's the bye week next week. So,
yeah. I do think if they change quarterbacks, they're in some trouble. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, they're probably going to change quarterbacks at some point.
They may win out.
Yeah. Ramondre or Devontae Smith, PPR?
Smith still.
Connor or Najee?
Connor.
Goddard or Ingram?
Ingram.
Ferguson or Henry?
Henry.
Traded Deontay and Laporta for Olave and Njoku.
Not terrible.
I like it. It's good.
I do, because Deontay's cuttable. If Olave comes back, you won the trade hands down. And Njoku's probably better than Laporta the rest of the season. Is Laporta the tight end on the all-bus team? He has to be, right?
Oh, yeah. Drake May or Daniel Jones?
Jones.
Yeah, the Giants decided that during the draft, too. Now, they try to get Drake May. Mac Jones or Marvin Harrison Jr.? This could be May or Mac Jones. I don't think so, right? It says May or Jones.
I don't know. Papinski's in the chat. He could probably clarify for us.
Daniel Jones.
I would say
Mac Jones or Marvin Harrison Jr. in Superflex.
I'm always going to go quarterback.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
Unless it's a slam dunk.
And Pollard or Brian Thomas Jr.
I don't like the matchup for Pollard at all, but I would still start him over Thomas with Mac Jones.
Last one here. Team is in shambles with buys and injuries. Should I start Jordan Mason, Tajay Spears, Demario Douglas, Alec Pierce, Demarcus Robinson, or any other lottery ticket name you can think of?
I think the safest floor is probably Demarcus Robinson. Demario Douglas.
Yeah.
Because he'll probably get 6 to 9 targets and can give you 10, 11 PPR points. The highest ceiling, I think, is, barring an injury, Demarcus Robinson.
All right, Jay Grizz used flattery to... Man, this is flattery? This is a backhanded compliment to get me to read his question. Dan might be the better athlete, but Adam wears much nicer shirts. That's not true. Well, it's true. Dan is a schlub a little bit, but I wear schlubby shirts too, but mine are long sleeve, so maybe that makes them nicer. Pollard, Moore, White, half PPR. Pick one.
Pollard.
Yeah.
What's been the funnier moment is with regard to clothing? Dan's WH space RE shirt or your
Yes.
Star Trek shirt?
That's a good question. Oh man, that's a great question.
Because we got a lot of miles out of your Star Trek shirt.
I think the WH blank RE. It's hard.
It says
write
where?
that.
It says where?
You cannot script that. Unbelievable moment. And it only would happen to Schneier. Right? Like incredible. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you Sunday morning. Well, people are voting for Star Trek. Maybe I'm wrong here. We'll talk to you Sunday morning. And thanks again for watching. Good luck. See ya.